What's good, my people? Back again with that raw, unadulterated, unscripted, unfiltered truth. We're going to get into this video today because it's clear to say that the world is being flipped upside down. People are mistaking good for bad and bad for good. The scriptures talk about that. The people are going to mistaken calling good evil and evil good. And I think that's clear to see that we're in that time right now. So I want to talk about the deep state and the shadow government and the people who are really behind the scenes pulling the strings in our society today. Because clearly the government has gone rogue and the power has gone to these occultists, these secret society brotherhoods, the Freemasons in their lodges. And they're the ones really who have been responsible for everything that's happened in the world today. So let's start. So Freemasonry has a lot of connections with Zionism, right? They work together hand in hand. Freemasonry is actually based on Zionism, the Mossad, Israeli intelligence. Now, it's clear to see if you look what's happening in Israel and Palestine. This was an illegal state formed in the 40s, colonial state, occupied land, where they promote genocide, killing innocent children and women and men, stealing their land and their resources, looking at them as less than. So this secret society brotherhood has been around for a very long time. And they are practices of the occult. Go read the Talmud. Go look at the Talmud. That's what they practice there in Israel. Zionists. The Talmud is a horrible, horrible book. It talks about raping children. It talks about that Christ is bathing in heated up excrement. It says that if anybody who's not so-called Jewish reads the Talmud, that they should be unalived. It's just a horrible, debaucherous, terrible literature. And this is what these people follow. So we know who runs the banking. We know who runs the entertainment industry. Those people who call themselves Jews in Israel right now are not the real Jews. They're Jewish. They're converts. They converted during the Crusades when the Muslims were fighting the Christians for political reasons, not for their faith, not for their culture, not for their belief. These people had their own ulterior motives. And they funded the first slave trade out of Portugal, which the ship was called the Jesus. They funded that. So they've had their hands in all this stuff since time immemorial. So the Freemasons, the Brotherhood, they have people in the banks. They have people in the media. They have people in the legal system, the education system, the military, the intelligence agencies. And they have their meetings in their lodges. If you go look at any city, almost any city across the world, you're going to find Masonic lodges, Freemasons. And what they'll do is they'll target specific people. Let's say they're watching you as a little kid in the education system, and they notice that you have maybe certain abilities or you're different than the other kids. You're going to get flagged. and they're going to run dossiers on you, and they're going to keep all your records. They're going to keep tabs on you. They're also going to send people into your life, acting as if they're agents. People are going to pose as your friends to gather intel for their brotherhood, for their secret society, fraternal cult. And they're going to keep tabs on you. They're going to track you. Because remember, they got to recruit people too, because you got to fit a certain profile or criteria. Not just anybody can join, and they know that. Not just anybody wants to join a satanic cult. You got to be a certain type of way. You got to be a certain type of person. Essentially, you got to hold some sort of psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies. A lot of the police are Freemasons. A lot of judges. A lot of lawyers. You got to understand something about lawyers too, right? Lawyers don't care whether you did or you didn't do it. They're loyal to the bar. They're just interested if they can prove that you did or didn't do it. And they're just there to make money for the bar and themselves. So in these lodges, they have no windows in them because they practice occult rituals, witchcraft, warlocks, covens. And you could see how that stuff has been so prevalent in our society today. And they target specific people because they have all your information. They have your blood work, they have your DNA, they have your education records. A lot of military, ex-military are Freemasons. So they have access to a lot of information, a lot of technology that they use and that they weaponize against people. If you're a follower of Christ, chances are you're being targeted by Freemasons. So somebody recently actually broke into one of their lodges and they found a human skull inside there that was being used to drink blood out of. I don't know about y'all, but I want nothing to do with anything or anybody like that. That's just evil. That is inhumane. That is below bottom of the barrel. And how these things operate, these people operate, they operate through psychology. And they've been doing that for hundreds of years. It's all psychological warfare. They control the media, they control the banks, they control the education system, they control the medical system, they control the economy, the business. It's the shadow government. It's really who's in charge this whole time. And these governments use your guys' tax dollars to fund these covert endeavors, targeting innocent civilians, people. And I always encourage people, go look this stuff up. It's very well documented. These covens, these witches, these warlocks are agents of the devil, agents of Satan, children of Satan. I rebuke all you in the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. You have no authority. And that's why things are getting so out of control. because the higher ups, the elites, they're deteriorating. They're being revealed and exposed. So now they're scrambling and they're panicking. So now the people who have been in charge are revealing themselves, and there's a panic, and they're trying to attack people who can see, who can reveal and expose their works of darkness and evil. If you look at all the history of these countries and all of the illegal acts and all of the murders and the genocides of innocent people, I guarantee you they're all going to have one culprit in common. All the US presidents were in secret societies. I encourage everybody, educate yourself. Knowledge is power. Don't just take my word for it. Go look this stuff up, because you're going to find out a lot of true things that you might have not even known existed. But this video is going to be a bit shorter. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you have any more additional information, please share it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I love to learn. Education, knowledge is power. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. Lilo Godson, Glitch in the Matrix 144. For now, we say shalom.